Hi, my name is Justin Egan. You can follow me at Egan Soccer Words on Twitter. After NYCFC's loss to the Columbus Crew this Sunday, one of the things in the post-game conference that Ronny said was that he was unhappy with the build-up in the first half. My colleague John Mueller asked him a question at the post-game press conference, and this is what he had to say.
Hey, Ronny, earlier you mentioned that at the start of the game, the team was playing too direct in the build-up. Is that a problem with decision-making from the passers, or is it a problem from movement on the receiving end between the lines? What build-up patterns are you not seeing that you want to see out there?
What you see in the second half and also the end of it, you saw we played 3 against 2 against those two strikers. In the beginning, we just play a pass to the side and go forward, and we have to break 2 lines to get to the strikers, and if you can play out their two strikers, we will only break 1 line, and that we did better. We moved the ball better. We find Keaton behind the 2 strikers, and we had Ringy between the 2 central defenders, and then we had a box there that they were suffering more in the second half. But that was something we wanted to do from the start of the game, and we didn't manage to do that in a proper way. So again, that's something we have to learn from.
So Ronny didn't really like the build-up in the first part of the first half. This first clip from the 23rd minute kind of shows a lot of the things that Ronny really didn't like and resulted in a counter-attacking opportunity for Columbus. And the second clip that we're going to be taking a look at is from the 69th minute after Maxi Morales had subbed in, and you can kind of see that NYCFC looked much better in terms of the build-up, and it's going to result in one of the great scoring opportunities for NYCFC. So here's the clip at the 23rd minute, and one of the things that you are going to notice, right, Columbus is in the 4-4-2, and NYCFC is building up with this 3-man defensive line with Ring in between Chanot and Collins, right? And this is a great way to break down the 4-4-2 because you have 3 players that basically play in the gaps of the 2 forwards, so you are always going to be able to have an open pass, right? You have 2 guys guarding 3. The one big issue that Ronny had with how the build-up worked in the first half, though, was that NYCFC was not playing the ball into the middle, and instead, right, we're going to see Ring's going to pass the ball to Collins to Matarrita to Gary, right? They're playing in straight lines up the sideline. And you can kind of see that when you play the ball into the middle, not only is there all of this lovely space, right, but it's going to distort the second midfield line because one of the midfielders is going to have to come up to guard Keaton. But on this play, that did not in fact happen. One of the other criticisms that Ronny had for the build up the first half was the positioning of the fullbacks. And in this case, Ronald Matarrita is all the way back, right? And this is not great against the 4-4-2 because essentially in this position, you have 1, 2, 3 NYCFC players that can be guarded by a single Pedro Santos. So the positioning is not great. And the other thing that you really want your fullbacks to do against the 4-4-2, right, is be able to get forward. There is all of this space over here, and when the fullbacks get forward, then you're going to be creating these 2-on-1 overloads, and that's kind of like where you can gain some attacking room on the sidelines. But because Matarrita, in fact, does not do that, when we play the clip, we can kind of see, because Matarrita is not up here, the wide midfielder can play, someone else. Pedro Santos is going to come over to guard him. And you can kind of see that there is no way that NYCFC is going to be creating a 2-on-1 situation or a wide overload, right? Right now, we have the ball over here, and we can kind of see 1, 2, 3, 4, and off the screen, we also have Harrison Offal, the fullback as well. 5 players over here, and this plays into the strengths of the 4-4-2. Like, if you kind of think of like the style of Atletico Madrid, like, what do they want? They want you to slowly play the ball, not in the middle, but up the sidelines, so that you basically are getting funneled into eventually 2 or even 3 defensive players, and when you lose the ball, they're going to go on the counterattack. And you can also see, this is kind of how Ronny was talking about, like, with the straight lines, right? So instead of playing the ball into the middle, right, and if Keaton got the ball, then yes, you can play the ball back onto the sideline. You can reverse the ball. You have a lot more options. You're just playing the ball up the sideline, and it's going to, play really into the defense of the Columbus Crew, right? And we can kind of see that no defender here has to make any decisions about who to guard, right? There's no 2-on-1s. We kind of see, especially after the wide midfielder comes back on the ball, Harrison Offal can just read the eyes of the passer, come in here to make the interception. And when he does that, we're going to see, right, Columbus is going to immediately get on the counterattack. And this killed NYCFC, especially in the beginning of the game, because when you kind of play the ball up the sideline and you're not getting the ball into the middle, you're not allowing the team to come up in the build-up. And mainly the big thing is that because we just played the ball up the sideline, immediately gave it away, Alex Ring is not in the ball winning position that he should be in, because now he is stuck in this 3-man defensive line with Chanot and Collins, instead of being further up the field in ball winning position, right? And part of that is because we gave up the ball quickly going up the sideline. He was not able to move up with everybody else, and it's not surprising that Columbus was able to get a really good shot opportunity that luckily Sean Johnson was able to save, So in the next video clip, right, we're looking at what's going on, the 69th minute. Some of the, pieces on the board have been switched over. In this case, Maxi Morales now is in. Goody has come in for Matarrita. And, even at the end of the first half, and even before Maxi was subbed in, the build-up looked a lot better because of a couple of different things. So the first, we can see, right, we are still playing this 3-man line in the build-up, but, fullbacks not over here, fullbacks not over here. They are a lot further up the field, right? Which means that the wide midfielders are, going to be there as well, or are going to have to be a little farther back as well. And so we can kind of see, right, that NYCFC is making a more concerted effort to get the ball in the middle, right? And we see Keaton Parks in much better position to get the ball. Alex Ring, right, is going to dribble up and basically force the defenders to make a choice, right? Are they going to pinch in? Are they going to allow this pass? So in this case, we see that Ring is able to make this pass, and a couple things. So first, this is such a nice position because it's going to force someone from the central midfield to come up and deal with this. And even though we see that Parks is going to give the ball back to Ring, when Ring now puts the ball back out to either sideline, both of these center backs are going to have a lot more room to work with, and it's going to force one of these attacking forwards to go and respect them, right? So in the first half, instead of the forwards being able, in this case, to guard the fullback, they're going to have to guard one of the center backs, and it's going to really open up the middle of the field. So we kind of see, right, that we have all of this space now, and because now the central midfield is respecting Keaton Parks, we kind of see that it's going to open up this space for Chanot. So one of the things I disagreed with a little bit from Ronnie's comments was he didn't like his center backs, getting forward off the dribble. And I'm gonna disagree a little bit with, not wanting to see that. It is, especially against the 4-4-2, if you have this space to dribble in, you are going to, have the player do it. It's better than forcing a pass, and it's going to make the defense have to respect the center backs moving forward. And it's not like we don't have two center backs in Collins and Chanot that can't play with their feet, can't dribble the ball. I think Alex Collins still thinks he's a striker. So I think this is perfectly fine to see your center back be able to dribble the ball up, right? And so basically, right, this is creating a situation where someone is going to either have to come up and guard him, and if someone does that, right, we have an easy pass into Maxi Morales. And if we move forward, right, that doesn't happen, but because Maxi makes this run, we kind of see the defender or the central midfielder, right, is going to have to follow him. And now where's all the space? It is in this area that was vacated. And Maxi, there's a lot of carryover between soccer and basketball. And we kind of see Maxi, what, I teach my players in basketball, right, is to kind of come back and make this V cut to generate his space. So he makes the run, has to respect it, comes back to the ball, and now he has all of this space when Chanot comes in and makes this pass. Now, when you get the ball into the middle, we kind of see not only one central midfielder respecting Maxi, you have the other central midfielder respecting Maxi, and this is going to open up, right, the space behind him. And not only is Maxi helping to do that, but because our fullback is wide, the wide midfielder defending on that side has to respect him, and he has to guard two players. The fullback behind him, right, has to respect both wide players, because either could easily make that run, and that's an unfortunate color for that Ed, but can both make that run in behind, right? So what is this going to set up, right? This is going to set up a one-on-one situation, right, with Tati and the center back, right? Because Tati can very easily get the ball over here, and when the striker gets the ball over here, you can kind of see that it's going to be very easy for one of these wing players to play in behind. And because of that, we're going to see, right, the center back is going to have to respect that, and Tati is going to go backdoor, and Maxi goes over the top. You know, in basketball, this would be going for like an alley-oop dunk, but for NYCFC, it is resulting in not only a nice piece of possession, but, you know, NYCFC's, you know, best shot attempt probably all game.